Well, hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we're looking at the xTool S1 20-watt laser engraver. Well, I am ridiculously excited for today's show because I have a new toy. Guys, you already know that I'm a fan of xTool products. I have the D1 Pro and I've shown you that on this program. And just recently, xTool contacted me and said, hey, you want to try out our S1 20 watt? And I would have been a fool to say no. So I jumped on it and it showed up yesterday in the mail. So I am super stoked to get this thing out of its carton and to get it assembled, and well, you know what, we're going to take it through its paces. So today we're going to check out the S1, see what it has to offer, and test out some of the features and see how it goes. Now the case that this thing comes in is huge and is quite heavy. So if you can, get someone to help you lift it. As for me, I work alone. I'm not going to get into unboxing of this laser, guys. This is not what this show is about. It's not about unboxing. It's not really what I do. I will point out a few things that we have in this case, and that is, well, for starters, this thing is packed incredibly well. I would be shocked if something was damaged. It is so tightly packed and so well packed. There are different little kits, instruction manuals. There is some laser materials. There is the vent hose, which we will get into installing on this unit, as well as, of course, the laser head itself. Now, before we get too excited and too carried away, there are 4 bolts that we need to remove. We have 2 that are right in here on the left-hand side at the back, and 2 that are over here at the right-hand side at the back. These bolts are strictly for shipping. They're to keep things from shifting around while it's in transit. So get those bolts removed and then we can carry on. And once you get those 4 bolts and the stops removed, you can now slide out your assembly. Now guys, check this out. Everything is all concealed. All of the cables, all of the air assist hoses, everything are all concealed in this drag chain. Keeps everything really neat and really well protected. Installing the laser could not be simpler. It has rare earth magnets here in its carriage. There is a guide pin that you slide in. It's already pulling it in with the magnets. You just push the guide pin down into that slot and then take 2 of your bolts and secure them in the top to finish off the laser installation. After you get that done, guys, it's just a matter of plugging your cables into the side as well as your air assist hose. Now I've turned the machine around to show you the rear of it, and this is a completely enclosed laser, which means that it has its own ventilation system, and that is this vent right here. Now by removing the 4 screws, you can pull this vent out and expose their fan here, which is their exhaust fan. I really don't know what the CFM is of this fan or how well it works, but we're going to test that out today. Once you get that vent removed, for me, I want to vent this outside the shop, vent it right out the window. So they provide the vent hose, which just goes right in place where you just took that vent cover from, and use the same 4 bolts, and we can just screw this in place, and that is done. Now, while we have this unit turned around, I just want to talk about the connections at the back. And this is where all your hookups go. The power, your computer. This is a port for a USB key that needs to be installed. It's a safety feature. It will not run without this key. You're provided with 2 of them. Don't lose them. This over here is for other power connections. For example, this is where your air assist actually plugs in. Now guys, the air assist on this is spectacular. It's an automatic air assist. The xTool S1 knows when you want the air assist and when you want it to be turned off. And it will turn it on or off automatically, provided that you're using XCS, which is the xTool Creative Space software, and you have your air assist pump placed in the auto mode. Your hose will get connected here on your air assist and then here onto the back of your xTool. And that sends the air right through to the laser head and automatic air assist, guys. Fantastic stuff. I'm looking forward to trying this out. So let's get the air assist hooked up. Let's get this thing connected to a computer and take it for a couple test rides. As far as assembly goes, this is pretty much it. Well, I have everything hooked up. I have not yet hooked it up to the computer as far as connecting it, but let's turn it on for the first time and see what happens here. Okay, right off the bat, I am really liking these LED lights inside. Every other enclosure, I've had to add my own lights. It's nice to see that this comes with them. Fantastic. As well, guys, I also have the honeycomb board for this. I will be putting that in place. So let's get this connected, and I want to try some test cuts to see how the ventilation works, as well as how the air assist works. Well, the focusing on this unit is pretty slick, I have to say. You essentially place your crosshairs over top of your material, and using the XCS software, you will just click distance. And just like that, your unit is focused. So I just want to show you this 2-point positioning. So on the XCS, it's called marking. You can see here, mark processing area. So we will start the marking, and it's going to give us options. We can do a rectangle, a circle, a polygon, or just a line. We're going to choose rectangle, and we're going to tell it to start marking. Now at this point, all you want to do is move your laser head so that it is in the top left corner, and those crosshairs are lining up in the top left corner of your piece or your stock that is in your laser. And at that point, you can push this button right here in the front. You'll hear it beep. That will tell you that your first position is marked. And we can see here on the screen, see the red dot there, that is your first position. We're now going to move this over to where we would like our last position to be. I'm trying to utilize as much of this stock here as I can. So we're going to make this our next position, and we will click it, and we can see here that it has created a square as to where this is exactly in our xTool laser. So we can click end marking and done, and it has drawn for us here on the screen a layout of where exactly our stuff is going to be in this piece of stock. And we can see here that this actually isn't going to fit, but I'm going to squeeze it in here anyway, because I know that the point is going to extend into an area that I did not mark. So at this point, I've already focused it. I have marked out my positioning. I can close this lid, and we're going to frame it. Although we really don't have to frame it because we laid out that 2-point positioning. So we're just going to push the button now for framing. And we can see here it's framing it in place. And now this is a cut. So we are going to now cut this and see how our air assist, automatic air assist, and the ventilation works. With the S1, once it senses that everything is closed up and good to go, you can just push the button. And that's it. Right now you can hear, hopefully, that vent fan is going automatically to vent out the entire enclosure. And there you go, the vent fan just shut off. We'll lift this up. And guys, not a bit of smoke. No odor. How did we do on the cutting? And the cutting is perfect. Absolutely perfect. That is spectacular. Here is another upgrade that xTool has come up with that I just want to bring to your attention. And that's these magnetic hold downs. I absolutely love these things. They sit here, you can see it practically pulled it out of my hand. Sits in the honeycomb, rare earth magnets, very strong. Snaps right down in place and does a great job of holding your stock. Guys, that's spectacular. I really like that. That venting and that automatic air assist is absolutely phenomenal. That kicked in when it was needed and turned off when it was done. Now, you can use it manually if you like, just by dialing up your numbers. But for my money, I think I'd rather just let it go on auto. Well, I'm engraving a file that I downloaded for free from the XCS shared files section. And guys, this laser is super quiet. The enclosure does a fantastic job of keeping the noise down to a minimum. Even the vent fan is quiet. I can feel that the air assist is running. I can feel the vibrations. This thing so far has been spectacular. One thing I'd like to point out is this cover here. This cover, there's no need for your laser glasses with this because the entire front clear enclosure is made from the same material, has the same type of coated acrylic that is the lenses of your laser glasses. No glasses required with this. Also, if you should open this, it will stop the laser as a safety feature. Not to mention as well, guys, the safety features of this, there are 5, count them, 5 fire detectors in here. So if anything should ignite, there are 2 detectors out here in the front, 2 in the back, and I believe 1 also in the laser head. So if at any point in time something should ignite within your laser and cause a fire, the system shuts down. Now there are options that you can get that would extinguish the fire. That connects to the back. I do not have that, but that option is available. You can get a fire extinguisher for this. All right, so let me get this engraving finished and see how it goes. So far, I'm loving the features of this laser. Well, I ran this at a much faster speed than I normally would with my xTool D1, just to see how well it processed it. And while I did have the power up a little too high, the engraving is still really nice, really clean, and it's on a junker piece of hardboard, so it's really hard to get a good grasp of it. I think I need to play with this a little more. There is another feature of this that is absolutely amazing, and that is the ability to focus over curved areas. So why don't we have a look at that? Well, the last feature that I want to showcase here on this laser is its ability to do curved surfaces and keep its focus. Guys, there aren't a lot of videos on YouTube on how to set this up. They do have instructional videos on the xTool website, but I'm just going to show you a quick overview here of what you want to do. So I just have my logo sitting in here in the XCS program, and up here at the top where it says laser flat, we want to come down and change it to curve process. Now you can see here that that will give you instructions. If you want to view them, that will take you right to the website and right to the video. We're not going to do that. So we need to come over here, curve surface. We're going to click on curve measure, and that will bring up this. Now the very first thing we want to do is we want to mark our upper left vertex. So we're going to shift our laser using our crosshairs. I have a curved piece of stock in here, and now that curved piece of stock, guys, is held in place by double-sided tape. So whenever you're engraving, make sure that it's held in place. So we have our top left corner of it where we want, and we will click mark. And this is going to register where that material is in that top left corner. It will then reset the marker, and at this point you want to set the vertex for the second location, which will be the bottom right hand corner. And again, we'll just manually move it over using our crosshairs, just like that, and we will click mark on the XCS program. And again, it will take a couple readings. Once it's happy with those readings, it will now reset again that pointer. At this point, guys, you can just click next, and now it is asking you how many points of measure you want this to do. Well, I don't really want 4 rows. This is a pretty small piece, so I'm going to reduce this to 2. I will do 10 columns across though. Okay, it will not let me do 2. Minimum is 3 here, and I'm fine with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the measure. And as we start this, the machine is going to go across and calibrate each one of these points. And as it does that, you can see here, it will illuminate it in green. And then there's the next one, and then the next one. It will continue until, in this case, this is 30 points, 3 by 10. It will go across all the way, illuminating them all as green to say that it has those measurements. All right, there's the last one, and we can see that it has rendered a 3-dimensional image here, or surface, of that piece of wood that we have in there. Now I'm going to turn the smoothness up here to its maximum and the tension up to its maximum, and we're going to click done. So at this point now, here is our curved square, and I'm going to drag my logo into that area. It looks like we're going to have to shrink it because it's not going to fit. So we'll shrink it a bit, just like this. We'll sit it in place. There we go. And at this point now, we're going to frame it. We really shouldn't have to, but we're going to. We'll just click framing. And we're happy with that, so we can click framing, complete, process, and now this is what we're looking at for our engraving, and it should engrave it on that curved surface, keeping the focus at all times. So let's just give it a try and see how we do. Now guys, hopefully you can see here how the 20-watt laser module is adjusting its height as it goes across the surface here to keep the focus perfectly in place. This is a game changer for curved surfaces. Not everything is a flat engraving, and this here is really excelling at keeping the focus going. But let's see how it looks when it's finally done. Wow, that's amazing. Very crisp, very clean, curved surface, no blurriness whatsoever. Guys, curved surface engraving. That's just an amazing feature on the xTool S1. And there you have it. The xTool S1 20-watt laser engraver. Guys, Oh my goodness. I have had, since I started getting into laser engraving, I have had so many emails and so many comments and questions from you guys asking me what I thought was my favorite. And I have never pulled any punches, and it's no secret to know that my favorite go-to machine, pretty much from the day I started using it, was the xTool D1 Pro. I absolutely love that unit, but I think we have a new champion here. This machine is unbelievable. No more drop-down arms for the focus. No more finicky little turn the dial to loosen it, raising the head up and down, lowering. No more making sure your piece is 100% flat, because now you can do the curved focus. So the curved focus, the automatic air assist, no more forgetting to put your air assist on and then, oh no, I've ruined my burn. Guys, this thing is spectacular. I was a little concerned about that built-in exhaust fan. I know that on xTool's portable enclosure, I know because I have two of them, the exhaust fan, for my liking, is a little underpowered. I would prefer it to be a little stronger to suck that smoke out just a little more. And in fact, I'm looking at converting mine and changing it to a 4-inch port with an external fan. But when I saw that this one had an internal exhaust, I'm not going to lie, I had some concerns. But it seems to work extremely well. It comes on the second you start engraving. It vents it however you want it, either through the regular vent or out through the window, as I have mine hooked up. And it stays on for about roughly 15 to 20 seconds after the burn to completely vent the chamber. And when you open it, there's nothing left inside. It is an absolutely fantastic system. I love it. It's great. The acrylic cover that eliminates the need for having to wear the laser glasses. I love that because I wear glasses, and I have yet to find a good pair of laser glasses that fit over top of mine. So this is a total bonus for me. I love it, and while I don't sit there watching the laser work, because you really shouldn't do that anyway, if I do need to peek in and see what's going on, I have that option. The integrated LED lights on the inside, the 5 fire detection sensors, the drag chains that keep all the cable management and the air assist, the easy connection air assist on the back so that you don't have to mess around with another 120 volt port. It's all powered by the same unit. Everything about it, the newly designed honeycomb, the magnetic hold downs, which work so well. Everything about this for me is a win. And as I said, as far as my favorite goes, I think we have a new champion here, because I absolutely love this machine so far. So, do you need to buy the xTool S1? That depends on you and your needs. This thing goes up to 40 watts. It's available in a 20 watt diode, a 40 watt diode, or a 2 watt, I think it's an infrared, which is a whole new ball game altogether. But if you're looking for a home laser, you may want to look into this one, because this one is amazing. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. This one has been, my excitement was not unfounded. I have had a lot of fun with this laser since I've been testing it over the couple days that I've owned it. And I'm hoping that I will be bringing you more shows featuring the S1, a few more tutorials on it. We're going to try to make some projects. Let's take this thing through its paces, and hopefully you're going to enjoy those shows. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We've got a fantastic audience base here, and I'm hoping that you're going to consider becoming a part of that. Guys, I'm going to place all the links to the xTool S1 down below in the description. Check it out. See what you think. If you're interested in getting yourself, the links are all going to be down below. I want to thank xTool for sending me out the S1. I really love it. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. I hope you're going to check out the links. I hope you're going to look into the S1 for your shop. And more importantly, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.